I'm Chloe.
Hi, I'm Evelyn.
Welcome to the Nest.
We hope you stay for a while. Today, we are joined by Thorns and Asmina. Please tell us a bit about yourselves.
Well, my name is Timaj. I live between Ethiopia and America. I'm back and forth. So I know kind of how it's like living in both countries and like adapting to each of them even. I'm a class of 2021 Aggie A&M. I graduated with biochemistry as a major and a minor in public health and psychology. I'm hoping to apply to med school, so that's my plans.
And Asmina?
My name is Asmina, as Evelyn said. I'm not in college. I'm a high school student, as you know. I go to Judge Barefoot Sanders Law Magnet, and I'm a junior. I'm interested in law, but it could change, you never know. And you could say my native country is Nepal, so I'm from Nepal.
All right. First of all, let's give a warm, beautiful welcome to our guest. But today we are going to be tackling a subject that many people in the world can relate to. Whether you are a student, a working adult, athlete, or anything in between, there's a possibility that we have all experienced burnout and its symptoms. So today, like I said, we'll converse about burnout, its effects, and how to bounce back from burnout. So to get started, we're going to do an activity first. So Evelyn, would you like to tell us what we'll be doing?
Yes, so today we'll be doing an activity called Rosebuds and Thorns. Each person will share their rose, which is a positive things that you have experienced, and their buds, an idea that you hope will one day bloom into a beautiful rose. And finally, your thorn, where it is an obstacle or challenge that you have faced.
So first, we're going to share our roses. So Tamaj, would you like to share the positive thing that you have experienced?
There's a lot. I feel I guess for me, graduating with a good GPA was something I was really happy about. Being able to not be in debt for college, being also able to have experience more a little bit. I guess getting outside of my comfort zone, getting into research and publishing papers and research articles and stuff. So I feel that's a part of the rose we'd see bloom later on after so much pain and with burnout and and good times and bad times. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Asmina, what's a rose that you've experienced?
A rose that I experienced today was I was having a really bad day, personally, with family situation and stuff, and somebody gave me their class ring. So yeah. For stress.
That's cute.
Evelyn?
And my rose would be basically I finished all the assignment I had to do for this week, so I'm just going ahead with my assignments because I've been stressed these past weeks. So that's kind of the positive thing. My grades are up, so yeah, I think that's my rose. What about you, Chloe?
I think a rose for me today was just this weather that we had today, because Texas has been very bipolar lately with its weather, and so today to finally have a beautiful day where I was able to walk home with Asmina and we got to talk and conversate and enjoy the product of today's sunshine. I think that was a rose for me.
And then next one we share is a bud, which is an idea that you hope will one day bloom into a very beautiful rose. Asmina, would you like to share yours first?
Yes, I started a crochet business, so hopefully my biggest goal is that when I go to college, it's gonna be like an Etsy shop where I'm gonna ship all US states, so it's gonna be very big, and that's my goal for now. So hopefully it blooms.
It will.
Tamaj.
For me, I want to be able to find methods to better help communities that are who are less fortunate, don't have the funds to constantly go to the hospital and checkups and stuff. I want to find ways to make healthcare in a way that's affordable, accessible, trying to focus on prevention more than anything. So my goal is hopefully have, if it's a training session or lessons or a team in the future with like, you know, students and stuff, and be able to help the community. That's like my big end goal, I would say.
Chloe, what about you?
That's really good. I feel like right now my bud is like one thing that I really hope is like I want to become really good at mock trial because it's become one of my recent passions. And so it's one idea that like hopefully from going to camp this summer and continuing to be in the class throughout the next 3 years of my high school career, I really hope that that buds into something really beautiful that can help me with just like something to put on my resume, but not only that, something to give me life experiences and also experience in the field that I eventually want to go into. And so finally, we're going to share our thorn, which is an obstacle or a challenge that you face. So, Evelyn, so share a thorn for us.
So, obstacle and challenge. I had a competition and state Japanese speech language. And that was very hard because there were a lot of good people. Even though I didn't place, at least I get to go to the competition, experience something. And I will have an obstacle challenge coming up tomorrow, which I'm taking my star for English too. I hope I don't die. Well, I don't mean literally. Thank you. It's just very stressful. And yeah, I think that's like my thorns for like, this year's and this month's. Yeah, what about you, Tamach? Do you have any?
That was a big one. I feel like it's similar to my problem as well. Like, so like, for med school, there's an entrance exam. And I feel like I do really good on the science sections, but the reading comprehension, like, English heavy sections are difficult for me. So English is not my first language. So it's kind of like tough. And I've been like working on it for like a couple months now, but I'm able, like, I'm getting better and better at it. And like, it took a lot, like I had to read more books to increase my reading speed, my comprehension, being able to take so many passages all the time, so I get used to like the length of the passage. And I feel like what helped me, like, you can use it too if you want, but like, is to calm down. Funny enough, huh? Like, that is part of it. You have to calm down. Coping mechanisms. Even if I'm going between passages, I'll do like something like this to calm myself down. I don't know, like, or look at my hand just to like delete everything I just memorized from one passage to the next. Like little things to make me happy, even throughout. So doing that kind of helped me calm down, and my score actually went up more. So yeah, I think that's something that's I'm working on and still working on. But yeah.
Me too. Asmina, what about you?
I would say that I was applying for the Questbridge application for the junior one, to get a head start for the senior application. And because of that, it's like a whole college process. Like, you're going through everything. You're writing your personal statement, short answer. And that was really hard for me because I did everything. It was just the personal essay and the short answer that I wanted like people to look at it. But the thing was, I wanted to get it done during spring break, and nobody like everyone, like I texted like 4 people and they replied really late, and I got more anxious, and then they just filled out. And like, I really had to work at, like, I could have done it like weeks before the application was due, but I had to submit the day it was due, because of everyone that were like wanted, like, supposed to be checking it. They weren't checking it, and so that was something that I had to go through, but I got it done. So
At least we got that done, Gotta get things done. What about you, Chloe?
Well, my thorn is actually very pertinent to today's topic because my thorn has been burnout. Because throughout the past few, like last month, I was experiencing like a really rough patch in like my academic career because like I lost motivation to do a lot of stuff. So like I ended up procrastinating a lot and feeling like I was kind of in this rut or ditch, almost. It's like when you get your tire stuck in a ditch and like you're trying to move and get out of the ditch, but it's like your wheel is moving, but you're not going anywhere. So it was like, that's what it really felt like at the time. And so I was like, oh, this would be a good topic to talk about, especially like, so I think that maybe that was a thorn that turned into a bud that turned into a rose, because today we're here talking about it. So, with that being said, we're going to move on to our first question towards the main discussion. What is burnout? So, like, it doesn't have to be like an actual definition or anything like that. Just to you, what is burnout? So, I'll start it off with Asmina.
I would say that burnout is simply like an extreme tiredness. Like you're just super tired. You have no motivation. Kind of like what Chloe said, how she was experiencing burnout. So yeah.
I agree with that. For me, burnout is like not only on emotions like where you just like feel tired, but it's just like you want to do something. You plan on doing something, but you can't move to do it because you're so tired at that point. You're mentally exhausted where your brain is just like, just take a break, just stop worrying about it. And it's like, and you want to get ahead towards something or get your assignment done, but you can't get it done because your brain is telling you like, you're mentally exhausted, like take a break, But then it's like, yeah, that's what the burnout feels like, but it's also like coming from a bunch of assignment on top of, teachers like to assign a lot of assignments, and then you have exams coming up because it's towards the end of the school, and then everyone is slacking off too. So it's like, yeah, that's what burnout feels and look like for me. What about you, Tamaj?
I mean, I get the like sentiments, like a lot of like a prolonged piling of stress for too long. Like you kind of like, both of you guys really described what I was feeling for a while, a couple months ago. Like that's literally perfect. Like I would literally make plans. Okay, this is the game plan tomorrow. This is how we're gonna work. Nothing will get done that week. I'll be staring at that book, but nothing is going in, nothing is going out, and it just shook me. And that's actually kind of like experience what burnout was, because I was like, it didn't make sense to me. Like I always worked until like the end. Like I always put myself through so much stress in life, but it's just like I never lost motivation, but that time period, I lost motivation, period. Like I could not look at a book again. Like I couldn't. And that was really like shocking to me. I feel like a lot that made me like experiences like COVID itself kind of thing. Like I usually before it was always like hyper stressed every single day, like school, but then like COVID came, it's like a break and you're like, wait, what is this? Like I was so stressed, and like somehow I have this time, and like constantly being in one place. Like COVID really got me through a lot of emotions. A lot of emotions I kind of suppressed since I was a kid. So like I actually like I realized like, yeah, I had to like self-care start to kick in again, and I had to understand what that meant. And like sometimes like it's not about like, you can have a break for 2-3 months even, but if you don't take care of yourself and like give time to like replenish yourself, like nurture yourself, you're not gonna have the energy to move forward. But yeah, burnout for me was just like a continual exhaustion of the same problem over and over again. You're not moving forward. There's no progress. You just feel stuck.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I feel like a big part of burnout is like, we always think of like school because of course we're students, but also people get burnt out from everything. People get burnt out from work. I've seen it happen to my teachers. I've seen it happen to parents because of all of this stress that life has to offer in different ways. There's a possibility that you can become burnt out from that, because being burnt out is a product of prolonged stress. It's stress on top of stress on top of stress that just builds up. And burnt out is like when your computer has to update and you keep on like procrastinating the update. So eventually your computer shuts itself off and updates itself. So like it's like your brain is like, you need to update, so shutting you off so that you can finally rid yourself of the stress. And sometimes it's like, you're like, brain, well, why don't you know that I have to continue working? I can't just take a break. But the thing is, you can. But a lot of the time, like due to the rigor of school or the rigor of that your job is like giving you or anything like that, because of that, it's like it makes you feel like you can't stop. But in reality, you can. Like when you have to stop and smell the flowers, or you have to do simple things that like just help you with you, it's like really important.
No, I had a discussion today with my friend actually. She was burnt out. And it's kind of funny because like the coincidence was actually funny. And we were talking about like how like she said I couldn't even focus for 2 weeks. And like, I have relaxed. Like I don't know why I can't, get over it, move on. And I was like, it doesn't matter if it's 2 weeks, 2 years, 1 day, 1 second, 1 hour. Like did you do something that made you happy? Like if it's going on a walk, or if it's my cousin likes to do makeup tutorials. Terrible. Okay, makeup ain't my thing. But for her she likes doing it. For me, I like to put the minimum I'll do is my lipsticks make me happy, motivated, and that's it, and like go on for walks, pause, go on YouTube, like watch YouTube videos. Like, and the thing is, like, it's funny because like as you said, like you think you don't have time. Like, I don't have time, I'm stressed, blah, blah, blah. But like when I started giving myself like 1 day break from myself, and the whole day I study, like morning 8 till like all the way to like 8 p.m, like 12 hours strength studying, like for like weeks straight. But I give myself 1 day break, my score went up by 5 points just by taking 1 day break and just doing what I wanted to do that day. And that was shocking to me. Like what took me months to increase, but just one break, it helped me boost so much. And it's just like I didn't realize I was just piling so much stress. I needed to like, let my brain relax a little bit, retain the information. Like it's and that's the thing that people don't think is beneficial. It's super beneficial. When you invest in yourself, it's kind of like investing. When you're investing in yourself, you're helping yourself become more stronger and actually a better like student, or a better parent, or a better teacher. Like sometimes we think of that as like, oh no, I don't have time for like myself, I have to take care of everybody else around me all the time. You end up putting yourself on a low and everybody else on the low. So it's a lot, but there is benefit from giving yourself like time to like bounce back. If you feel like you're so overwhelmed, leave it. This is not gonna like take me to some type of heaven or something. Like I just need to like pause, calm myself down, and then go back at it, and that's okay. Like I don't think we take that as something we don't think it's okay, but that's actually okay.
I definitely agree. So moving on to our next question, what is the difference between burnout and stress? Evelyn?
So for me, stress is like that moment where you have a bunch of assignments, like for example, a bunch of assignments due, and you're like rushing through all those stuff. Or it's like you start like, like keep going, like signing, you're like or it's just you're just like, so how would I say, like it's interesting between the like difference between burnout and stress. There's like burnout is just like you feel so exhausted after all those stress, which I feel like they're related, which is like you go from stress to being burnout, which is just like stress started off, it could be like with school or your personal life, or things, responsibility you have are all like stressful towards you, and which kind of causes you to being a burnout. I'm not really good at explaining stuff.
No, you did good. No, you did really good. No.
But yeah, because I feel very burned out right now. It's just like, it's just schools, because it's the end. School is almost ending. It's almost summer, and it's like everyone is just. I feel like everyone have a major burnout during like towards the end of the school. Because it's like after, from the beginning, when you're like very stressed about like, oh, how am I going to do this? Oh, like what if my grades go low, or what if my grades do this, from towards the end where you're just there like, I don't care no more. I'm just so ready for the summer. I'm ready to be free off of all this schoolwork, exams. I don't need that no more. I can have like 2 or 3 months to myself, or to do some program, or like do what I like. That's what like kind of like the difference between stress and burnout to me. What about you, Asmina?
I would say that I think the difference between stress and burnout is that like stress would come first, and you can actually prevent burnout by doing certain things like we all described. Like it's very surprising to me, because my like right now, like this year, junior year is like the most stressful year ever. Everybody said that to me, but I don't feel burnout. Like I have not felt burnout ever again. Like I haven't felt that ever since I came back from COVID. And so it's very surprising to me because I do feel the stress. Like I feel very stressed every single week, but I try my best to prevent it. And some things that I do to prevent it is just like make sure that I'm getting on top of my task and my work. And I try, like I with all the stress I get, I really try my best not to get that stress the best out of me. So I always try my best to get my work done the weekend before, so that way I can have some time for myself. And then the Monday, I know myself very well that Monday I'm not gonna function well, and it's okay. So I just give myself like, okay, well, Asmina, you're not gonna work, so just go to school. That's literally all I can do. And then maybe Tuesday I'll feel better, so I'll do some work, and then Wednesday I'll feel even a lot better. So by that time, I continue the day like that. And I feel like, yeah, the difference between stress and burnout is eventually you can literally like overcome your stress. But if it piles up into a burnout and you really don't have the motivation to, then that's like burnout is a huger deal. It's a bigger deal.
Yeah.
What about you, Chloe?
I feel like the difference between burnout and stress, like both of y'all have said, it's like one comes before the other, and it's definitely stress comes before burnout. And burnout is more severe because burnout is the exhaustion that results from being stressed so much. But also, like, I would like to touch on what Evelyn said about like just wanting all of it to be over, because like I can definitely relate to that feeling, because ever since, like, all students can probably relate to this, because once you hit like that spring season of that second semester, it's like, okay, I'm ready to get this over with, ready to get this done. We're like, okay, summer is coming. And so definitely I feel like it's more of an antsiness, especially if you're a student. It's mixed in with that antsiness of waiting for summer break so that you don't have to be on work mode all the time. It can be work break, because but also I feel like one thing that'll prevent that, like, you kind of have to change your mindset too. Instead of looking forward for the big break, you got to look forward for the little break. So it's like, now it's me looking forward for the weekend, it's me looking forward for the 4-day weekend we're gonna have, it's me looking forward for the next break we're gonna have. And then before you know it, literally it's only 2 months left of school, and I'm like, okay, now I can do this. It's just like, now you have to pace yourself to the finish line. Because I feel like with burnout, it's like when you're running a marathon, but you're trying to run like you're running a 100-meter dash, like you're running really fast as if you're gonna get through with that marathon in like 5 seconds. So you have to pace yourself and be like, you know what, I'm gonna jog, and then I'm gonna run, and then I'm gonna jog. I might take a break, drink some water, and then get back on it. Because it's like, you can't approach everything like, oh, I need to get this over with fast. You just have to like live in the moment and take your time and really. And like, that's also how you ensure that you learn the stuff that you need to learn. Like, that's how you make sure you retain information. Because if you're so busy on, I need to get this assignment done, you don't even think about what you're learning. You're just like, okay, type, and you don't actually remember anything that you just typed. And so like, if you take time to like take a break and enjoy the stuff that you're learning and really understand it. And if you don't understand something, take a break, collect yourself, come back, and start it again. Because it's like, that'll really prevent burnout. But not only that, it'll like, the stress will become temporary. It's like, I was stressed about this, but it went away because I took a break,
Yeah, I totally agree, guys. Live your life right now. Don't really worry about anything else right now, but worry about the time you have right now. So it's like you don't really get burnout.
But I do want to say one thing though, like, stress is not always a bad thing. It can push you, it can motivate you. It's how you use the stress. Like, if you use it to make you feel bad, or like, or like to the point where it causes you like even chronic pain, like, chronic pain and stuff like that, that's when it becomes bad. But when you use that stress to challenge you, it's like, okay, I'm struggling in this, I know it's kind of weighing me down, what can I do to prevent it? If it's a pause, or it's like, asking for help or something, and like manage that stress. But stress, it's never going to end. You're always going to feel stress when taking an exam. You're always going to feel stress trying new things, It's about how we like manage and deal with the stress. That's important.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, the next questions. Have you experienced burnout? I'm pretty sure everyone here experienced burnout before. And if so, what was the cause of it and how has it affect like people around you and or your school slash work life? How is it affects everything around you?
I'm tired right now. That's why, because at the end of the day, I've been studying all day. I'm tired. But usually, as Mina knows, I'm really hyper. I'm bubbly. Um, but when I was going through my burnout phase, I became, I don't know, like smiling who? Like I was just so, like everything was negative for me. I would look into anything and find anything negative. And when I didn't notice it, what I was doing to myself mentally, like, what I was thinking about myself, I started noticing it what I was doing to other people. Like it could be my siblings, my friends, when I was becoming more distant or getting irritated quickly. I think everybody around me noticed that, something's off. That's what made me kind of stop and think like, oh my God, like how far has I taken this burnout stage? Because I didn't know what a burnout was, honestly. Yeah, it doesn't just affect you, it affects everybody around you.
I would have to agree with that. Like when you start experiencing burnout, you start distancing yourself from everyone else or the whole world or like just your friends. Like sometimes it's like if your friend check up on you and ask you, hey, how are you? And you're experiencing a burnout, it's like you want to reply to them, but you don't have the energy to like just do anything. You just want to lay there or you just want to sit there, do nothing. And it's like, yeah, you start distancing away from other people. And sometimes it's just like, even if your grades are going up or going down, like you're mentally exhausted. Like everything, the cycle just repeats and you're just going through all that. And yeah, I agree with like you get irritated so easily towards anyone who bothers you, and like you start going off for them, and then you feel bad because you can't help it sometimes because it's like I'm sorry, but like sometimes like when you're like so stressed or like so burnt out, you just want to be left alone, or it's like if your parents calling you come out and eat and you're just like I'm exhausted, I don't feel like eating, but of course like parents being parents, they will come and force you to eat, and it's just you get irritated. Burnout is like it's like this just repeated cycles where it's just you feeling irritated, you're mad, and then burnout are different for some people. Like burnout, some people could cause them to like be energetic sometimes, and then the next minute they're so super exhausted, and then energetic again and super exhausted. It's different for everyone. So yeah, like that's how I feel like burnout has affected a lot of people around me. And yeah, that would be mine. What about you, Chloe?
I definitely agree with what you said about it affecting your mood and your disposition towards people, because like I also recognize that with myself. But not only that, like I realized that it coexists with other mental things that might be going on. For example, I was experiencing like burnout like triggers me sometimes when it comes to my depression, because it's like when I feel burnt out, it's like I feel sad at the fact that I've lost motivation. And so I start to mourn this motivation that I once had. And so like I remember being on the phone with my friend and trying to do my homework and literally crying to her because like I had no motivation to do the homework. And on top of that, all I wanted to do was lay in my bed and sleep. And so it was like a mixture of emotions. But not only that, it can hurt the people around you, because like I noticed that, like you said, with the meals, my mom would be like, oh, I'm gonna cook, are you hungry? I'd be like, yeah, I'm starving, I'm hungry. And then soon as I get in my bedroom, I go to sleep and she's like, oh, and she'll come wake me up, she's like, oh, don't you want to eat? And I'll be like, no. And then she'll like close the door, she's like, dang, sorry. But it's just like sometimes I really feel like when you're burnt out, you don't really stop to notice what you're saying is affecting some people, because people are just trying to check on you. Hey, are you okay? And then you'll be like, does it look like I'm okay? Like they'll be like, dang, where did this come from? But it's like and that you don't know, that you have to take a minute and recognize, hey, I know that I'm in this situation, but I don't have to reflect that to the whole entire world. And so really, I feel like it's really important to manage that burnout, because it can really lead to you like putting it out on someone else, you know? What about you, Asmina?
Like I said, I don't feel burnout my junior year this year, but pandemic, yes, it was a huge one actually, because I was like not trying to brag, but I was a straight A student, first of all. Okay, so I had all A's. Like for the average one, I had all A's. But ever since the COVID hit, I started getting like for AP World History and Fast Track, I started getting like B's. I started getting 87 and 89, and I panicked. I was like, oh my God, I panicked. But at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Forget about it. My mental health is more important. Forget about it. And so I had to kind of like sacrifice my goal for a while. And even though from a straight A student, I went to a high B student, I felt like it really like helped me during the pandemic, trying to kind of I didn't know how to cope with burnout, because I was always like, the burnout that I get, I used to like voice that with my anger as well, like what Evelyn and Chloe and everyone else said. Like I used to voice that with anger, and I used to always get irritated at my grandparents, because I lived with my grandparents during the pandemic. So I used to always get angry. They would come in the room and be like, Asmina, you want to go eat? I was like, no, thank you. Like literally, you know, like, and they have like, my grandpa had like high blood pressure, so he get really upset at me, and we would literally like argue time back to for no reason. Like it's literally just eating. Like I even question myself, but it's not just that, but it was certain small things that they wanted me to do, and they kept on asking me. And I get it, they were elders, but I was literally going through the burnout every single week. And I remember the time when like the Eagle Scholar first started being online. I had my my intern Cindy. What she did was like, I used to always like call her or be on Zoom every single week and try to like, you know, express how much stress I was and how like everything that was going on in my life. And what she did, I remember this one time, she literally pulled up on YouTube and was like, what is your BTS favorite song right now? And she was like, I said Dynamite. And she literally put Dynamite, and we were literally like singing together, and it really helped. And this year, when I was stressed about like Questbridge and stuff, I remember Tamaj saying like she was like motivating me with like things like, hey, you're doing so much better. Like, girl, don't even talk about it. Like, she thinks like I'm like her best version of her little self, and it really like motivated me. So those small things really like helped me with burnout.
Yeah, I also want to make a comment on what Chloe has said a while ago, how burnout also affects your like mental health can affect your burnout. And for me, last year was a lot of so many things happens to me, and I was grieving, and I was doing all this. Even until now, I'm still grieving, but that grieving led to a major burnout during starting of second semester this year. It caused a major burnout for me, because it's like when you lost someone you're really close to, it's like major burnout. Your mental health deteriorates and everything like that. And yeah, that's what I want to say. Moving on to our next questions, which would be, how do you handle burnout? So do you participate in self-cares, or what are something you find like how do I say, it's like that helps you? Or is like, do you have some like unhealthy habits that you have built related to burnout? Or like, how do you, if you do experience burnout, how do you prevent that? Or like, how do you like trying to like say like, I'm gonna help myself not to have a burnout? Oh, that's a lot of questions, I'm sorry.
You're good. For me, was doing the things that kept me sane. It's just going back, like literally it's funny how I literally avoided everything I used to love to do, And that's actually like, it's actually a sign of like depression too. Like when the things that used to make you happy don't make you happy anymore. The activities that used to make you happy. So and like you have to like reshape how you think about things also. So for me, it's like it was one step at a time. I started just doing something consistently every day that had to do with something, nothing about the things I was stressed about, just get out the house. We was walking. Another thing is like slowly like adding the things I used to do, like going out with my friends, seeing them sometimes, talking to them, keeping like my loved ones close, then pushing them off. That's what I was doing for a long period of time. I was like, I want to be alone and I don't want to see your face right now. I'm not in the mood, because like I don't want to like lash on you, like get mad at you. I'm trying to figure things out. Like that's another thing. So just like just trying to like keep the people that who care for me near me, and like letting them help me. And that was something like keep me in check. Another thing is like, again, self-care is like, I went crazy about self-care. That's okay. One thing, the negative thing you said, like the negative thing you start doing is like you get obsessed with one thing that might not help you a lot, or you get involved. I got involved in so much politics, debating, and it went crazy. Just like anything to just avoid me thinking like positive, or like going after the problem, which is like I'm burnt out. I would just try to blame anything else, like go on anything else. That was a negative effect I think I saw from it. But like what really helped me is just like to pause. Sometimes it's okay to pause, restructure the way I think. Like I can, if I set my mind to it, I can do it. If it's gonna take me a while, it's okay. I'll be able to do it. Just because I'm struggling with this doesn't mean I'm not worthy of love, or just because I'm struggling with this, I'm not worthy of like happiness. Like you think that like, oh, there's so much responsibility that I have for my family, that like, wow, I'm putting them down or something. Like like I have to stop thinking, no, like right now I'm investing in myself. Right, there's times where I was helping them a lot when I could, and there's times that I might not be. Right, that time could be now. Like I need to invest in myself and fix like get myself on track so I can actually go back and help them. Like that's actually helping them. Like it's just thinking of like, to take care of yourself is okay. Like rewiring what you think. If you think whatever it is that you think you're dumb, no, you're not dumb. Maybe it's just like this strategy of studying wasn't working. Like I need to figure out another strategy. I'm just like changing those words of how you think about yourself, restructuring. I started reading more books, people who actually went through this, YouTube. Like you just see other people like going through this. Actually, I can actually like overcome this. I can go through this. Like it's possible. Like it's not gonna be like burnout. It's not gonna be solved in 1 day, 2 days. Especially if you're burnt out for too long. Like it's gonna take. It took me like a good month, and even more like to fully recover. But I feel like it took me a good month to start getting back on my feet again. So again, like if it's like waking up and washing your face and brushing your teeth, when it could be something simple like that keeps you away, just give you something that you love to do, and that's different for everybody, right? So I feel like those are 2 questions. I think you said something else. It was 3 questions, I remember, but I know it was like one.
It's like, how do you ensure your burnout like wouldn't like come back? Like how do you prevent the burnout?
For me, I realized like for my specific case, it's like when I saw I was studying too much, and I also had work and stuff, like piling stuff on myself, and I wasn't getting like breaks throughout the day, or I put too much on my plate. That makes me get burnout. So I said, okay, taking care of yourself is actually part of your success. Like you have to take care of yourself, to invest in yourself. So I started chunking them down. What I need to do a day that's more feasible, and like as you said, like making them like hello, I have this right here. So I chunk the things I need to do, and I just check mark them, and it makes me feel happy. It's like, wow, I'm actually accomplishing the little things. Like my goal is not to get the score, no, my goal is to get through these and like do as best as I can, like breaking it down and having like little rewards as you go. Okay, I went through this many questions this week, I should be happy, and I'll take a break and I'll celebrate doing something, like little breaks. So every week I feel motivated, like, okay, I'm gonna work hard now so I can get it, like, do better a little bit, and I can see that results, like that little results I wanted to increase, So instead of focusing on, oh my God, I need to increase in all these sections at once, like, no, you're going to be burnt in 2 seconds. Like, I have to focus, okay, this week, I'm going to focus on this section. Let me see how much I can do about this. And just like chunking it and breaking it down, making it more feasible and tasks that you can accomplish, you know? Because when you don't do that, you feel there's something called learned hopelessness, where you just end up giving up at some point. Like, you know, I tried all I can, you know? So you don't want to get to that point. You want to break it down. And if you have to break it down even further, break it down. It's okay. If you need more time, give yourself time. If you feel like 1 day is not enough for a break, 2 days, 3 days. Everybody's different, but just listen to yourself, listen to your body, listen to people who care about you around you, you know? It's a holistic thing. But yeah.
Yeah, I would have to agree. For me, I participate in a lot of self-care, which just throughout the week, I do all my homework. I do everything I need to do. And then on Saturday, no contact, no nothing. I just lay in bed or read books or crochet, you know. I just do whatever I want or listen to music. That's all I do. I don't contact anyone. If anyone texts me, I don't reply. I don't do anything.
I love that.
I'm gonna start do that.
I just ignore everyone on Saturday, and then on Sunday, I start building that back up, but not really. Like, I really reply to everyone. I know Chloe will know this, and of course anyone else in the next podcast will know this, but I'm rarely on like a lot of my social media. It's like I'm rarely active, or like I'm just like so burnt out to the point. But you know, I also build some unhealthy habits, which is, I don't know if I will say this as, because I'm an emotional eater. So I eat a lot. I this is kind of hard for me, because even if I am full and there's still some food in my plates, I pressure myself into finishing it even if I don't want it. Or it's like, even if I know, you know, like I can't finish some things, or, you know, like I pressure myself to do it. Like these days, like when I see my homework and I know I only have 5 more questions left and the answers are in the textbook, I don't care. I just close that Chromebook and go to sleep. You know, at this point, live your life. You're young. You're still young. You know, you're still young. Everyone is still young. Just live your life, guys. At this point, just be who you are. And I know a lot of people will know this, a lot of people scholars, but burnout gifted kids, as a kid, you were pressured to be very talented and very gifted, and now you're just completely burnout. And that's okay, because me too, I'm on the same level. But you know, at this point, it is what it is. Just go with the flow, how life goes, and don't focus on like school stuff too much or anything, you know, like focus on yourself too. Like a lot of us need a break to ourselves. But yeah, that's what I would say. Asmina, do you have any?
You said, how do I practice self-care, right?
Like prevent burnout.
Yeah.
Was that the only question?
Oh, it was multiple.
It was multiple questions at once.
I wrote it down. Basically, kind of like how to prevent burnout. What's the negative like side effects of burnout that you saw, and how did you, you know, overcome and solve them?
Yeah.
Okay. How did I? Okay. Well, some of the ways that I prevent burnout is, I like, let's say like during the pandemic, I was like FaceTiming a lot of my friends, because I'm a person to like, I like calling than texting, because I can literally be like laughing, but I can be laughing a different way. It could be goofy, it could be like little laugh, you know what I mean? So I like I'm a caller person, so I like calling people. So I used to call a lot. I used to call random people. Sometimes I call studio, sometimes I call like out of nowhere. I call my grandma. I call my, you know, like I used to do that a lot. And I used to just talk things out. And sometimes if I'm like going through some emotional damage, then, or like not damage, but like I'm going through some like really hard time, then what I do is like, if they're willing, then they would stay in the FaceTime for me for a long time until I get a work done, or until I feel better or something like that. And people to have like that, like those type of people were like really like, they really helped me and pushed me to keep trying and stuff. And during I also learned how to crochet during the pandemic. So because I learned how to crochet, right now every time I get stressed during as a junior, I just crochet. I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna do this anymore, let me just crochet. And then like especially during Saturday, it's like my crocheting time and watching K-drama. So I just watch K-drama, I mean cringing on it and just, you know, staying in bed and stuff like that. And then I also hang out with my cousin Permilla. So she likes making TikTok. Though I don't like making TikTok. Like I'm not like a huge fan, but I would like post every day or stuff. I post like frequently when I did have TikTok, but she used to post like daily and like, okay, good for her. So she used to put me in her video too, so I would like do it together with her, and it would like it would make me like temporarily happy, not like happy forever, but it would really help with that. So yeah, those are some ways I do self-care. And then I think a negative habit that I have is that I make like a small thing into a huge deal. Anything that's very small, I make it into a huge deal in my brain. And so for no reason, like just for no reason, a simple thing. And so I learned to like just calm down and just like do step by step. And when I get overwhelmed with assignments, what I do is I do the easiest assignment first and try to get off from the Google Classroom. You know how you have like a little assignment list? I'm like, you know what, this is done. This is easy. I can get it over with. I can just get it over with. So that way I'm not feeling like I'm preventing stress to my best ability. And I also say another negative habit is that when I'm like really stressed, I think what I do is I cry. So if I super stressed, I literally cry. I don't know. I cry.
I go in the shower and just cry, let it all out.
And it's out of nowhere. You just like cry, tear up, and then you like suck it in, and then you try to do your homework while you're trying to cry. So that was like, yeah, that's a very negative habit. So one way that I prevent it is like I let my like I cry out and I find out why I cry, and so that way I can deal with it rather than just crying and just forgetting about it. I actually try to reflect on my feelings and to my best ability, because my parents, like, they have like a huge like mental health stigma, so I don't really talk with my parents about my mental health or anything like that. So I have to like deal with myself, and I have to rely on, like, for example, Tamaj or Eagle Scholars and people from my school, Mr. G. So I have to rely on them than my parents. So yeah, find ways to like just reflect on my emotions.
I feel like parents is because like they don't know what mental health is, you know. They just have to live through it, you know. You keep going everyday survival mode for them. So I understand where they're coming from. But like a lot of times, like if someone's like listening and they feel like, you know, I don't have people, I don't want to share my ideas, like you can journal, you can sit down. And you know what's so funny? I thought journaling was a waste of time, to be honest with you. I was like, when my friend said journal, I'm like, nah, I don't have time. As I told you, when you feel like you don't have time. But then I started journaling. That also helped me too. And without even thinking, one sentence turned out into being like 2 pages. And then I'm like, wait, what's actually bothering me is something else. Like, this is not what's bothering me, it's something else, you know? So I feel like, you know, journal it, talk it out with a friend, like someone who listen, or you can read back and see and go back and see like exactly like, you know, what it is.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm actually really proud of y'all though. Good job for like talking about these topics now. I did not learn these definitions until after college.
Yeah. To shortly answer the question that we were asked, like, I think handling burnout for me was just self-care, and like I give myself stuff to look forward to. One thing that I have, so this is going to turn bad really quickly. One thing that I like to participate in is retail therapy. I like to shop.
Oh!
And
you
so
picked up on my negative. I literally went bankrupt. I noticed when I'm low, I just start shopping too much.
Like, literally, I have like I've been looking to the side because I keep on getting notifications of my AliExpress and my Shein orders coming in, and so I'm like, okay, hold on,
Me
wait a minute. And then also, like Evelyn said, I do have like the same issue with eating, with stress eating, but like Asmina will tell you, as soon as I get on the bus, what do I say, oh, do you have a snack?
Do you have snacks? Do you have gum?
Because like literally, it's like when I feel like food is the greatest comfort, and it doesn't always have to be a negative thing. Because sometimes when you eat that one dish that your mom makes when you're stressed out, it feels like it temporarily solves all of your problems just with that one bite. Not even finishing the whole meal, just with that one bite. So yeah, and definitely I feel like some unhealthy habits that I've built would have to be me procrastinating. That's one that I have to beat, but like I have been dealing with procrastination a lot, but I feel like I'm getting better with my procrastination because at first I would be in class, it's time to do an assignment. I'm like, oh, I'll do it later. Now I'm like, okay, I have class time, so I'm gonna do it now. So like I think
yeah. Go on. Yeah,
get it over with, and then relax.
Yeah.
You know, it's gonna still be there at 11:59 p.m. It's still gonna be there. Get it over with early.
It's still going to be there. Like you can just make up something. Okay, this is gonna be a quick questions we're gonna have to do because like we've been here for so long. Mm-hmm. So, what advice would you give someone who is currently feeling burnout? Just one short, one simple, or answers you guys have.
It's normal. It's okay. We're humans. Like we're not angels or anything but we're humans. It happens. That's the first thing to recognize. Failure didn't start with me. It's been there at the ends of time. It made one of the most greatest of people. Had to like go through a lot of rough times. And think of it as a more of like, instead of like, I feel like bad, I feel terrible. Think of it more of like a character development. It's making me stronger. It's shining on my weaknesses. What can I improve about myself every day? Like little steps, like start there. And like, if it's just getting up and go hugging your mom, go do it. Like just the little things, start there, making yourself a little like rewards and happy and like, and it's a process also. Like don't think you're gonna end in one day. It's okay. If you're competing with no one else but yourself the day before. Well, am I a better tomorrow than I was yesterday? Did I wake up 5 minutes earlier than I did yesterday? Compete with yourself, no one else. That'll be my advice.
Asmina, what about you?
I would say just reach out to people because I don't care who it is. There's always people who cares about you, who wants your best interest. Like they love you, they care for you. So if you just go out and voice your concern or however the reason why you're going through all this burnout, you can talk it out. And make sure that you're able to come up with a solution or in fact rest because that's what you need. So just talk it out with someone.
And Chloe, what about you?
I would just say you don't have to be the best. First of all, because like that was like a big source of mine, and a lot of people who are labeled as talented and gifted as well. It's like this feeling of, oh, I have to be the best, the cream of the crops, And it's like you don't have to do that. And so like really for anyone who's feeling burnt out, it's normal, like Tamara said. But not only that, me too.
We all are.
Like, it's okay, because me too, and everyone else in this world, everyone has experienced this at one point and another. You will get over it. It's not something that's forever. It's something that's temporary. And I know you can do it because I've done it. Multiple people have done it, and you will do it. But yeah, that's all I have to say.
Yeah, I would agree. My one quick advice, and I always tell everyone this, do all your work during the week. And on Saturday, cut off everything. Just spend the time to yourself. Always take care of yourself. If you don't take care of yourself or your body, like, in the future, that's going to affect your health. So everyone who's feeling burnout right now, just take a Saturday off. Do nothing but just lay in bed. Don't care about assignment you have to do. You can just make that up. You can just talk to the teacher. Ask them if you can make that up, okay? Guys, at this point, life is life. Just go with the flow. I'm the type of person to go.
Preach.
Yeah, it's just take a Saturday off to yourself, and just go online shopping or just shopping, in general,
shopping. Oh, that's dangerous. That's dangerous.
Dangerous.
Check your bank account first.
Yep, your money's gonna be flying out, and the only thing that's gonna fly out of your wallet is those people. But beside the point, yeah, guys, you know, do whatever makes you happy. If you're a K-pop fan, if buying albums, you going bankrupt, go for it. Or if
I
you
don't
love
condone
books,
all the actions here.
if you love books, just go read books. You know, I don't really read books, but you know, yay, you do you.
Whoever does.
You do you.
If you read daily.
If you read daily,
Good for
good for you. You must be a good reader, not me. But you know, at the end of the day, enjoy your life. And I guess that
Budget, but
yeah. Anyways, guys, that will conclude today's episode. Make sure to check out the resources in the description box to continue this conversation about burnout. You know, just comment whatever you have in that comment box.
Make sure you subscribe and turn on our post notifications so you never miss when we upload. And make sure to tune in next time so that you can be a part of the conversation we have about the next topic. And also remember, if you're not going to speak up, how is the world supposed to know you exist? Bye.
Bye.